I got an ass that won't quit. You got an asp that got bit on the tit. Somebody wrap this bitch back up in carpet.
Black Hood. We're called the Red Circle. We're coming for you. We will find you. Find you. We will hunt you. Hunt you. We will
The man-child music video.
Okay.
I know we joke about things being Lynchian, but it was actually kind of Lynchian, and I really liked it.
Oh.
It was like, you know how he's like the master of dreams? It was like that. You know how Mulholland Mulholland Drive was supposed to be a TV show?
Yes.
But
yes,
like they
but
edited
then
it into a
the
movie.
extra part where
Yeah.
after the club they were at.
The crying?
Like when they were at the place and she was singing?
Yeah, we're talking about the same thing. The
Yeah.
crying at the club.
Oh yeah.
At the Speak No something
or other.
And it's all a commentary about
Yeah.
silent film in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna vomit.
No. We vom on the pod.
We vom on the pod.
Put twee.
We start this episode with what can only be called the sexy montage.
Exactly. A Varchie fuck
A-
montage. A Varchie fuck montage.
So they're like macking it at school.
Yeah, like way macking it. Like
Which
not
is
just sort of
a
like
lot.
mwah,
Like she's
mwah. It's
straddling him
she's,
in the student lounge.
like they're on the sweaty leather couch.
Maybe not even in the student lounge. It
I
looks
think
like
they're,
the hallway.
outside of the principal's office.
Yeah,
is what it's giving.
maybe they got in trouble. Cheryl goes in. She's like, "Get a room."
She says xenomorphs, like an alien. Like
Get
an
a room,
alien?
you xenomorphs.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
And they don't get a room. In fact, Portugal the Man's Feel It Still starts playing.
Ronnie bites Archie's lip.
And we're like, oh
Oh
my.
my.
I couldn't do this and be like, it's pretend. That's why I can't be an actor.
I could bite, depending on the man, I could bite a lip and it would be pretend.
No.
Because
not
I've
me.
done that. I mean, have you ever done a stage kiss?
No.
I've
'cause I
done
wasn't
many.
an actor.
I've done many stage keys.
I've never have.
I've
And
done
I
many
don't
stage
think-
keys.
I don't think I guess I could, but I love kissing so much that I
Yeah.
don't think I could like.
Can I air out one of my friends?
Yeah, go off.
When we were doing the Sound of Musical, she played Maria, and her first ever kiss was a stage kiss with Captain Von Trapp. It was during a rehearsal
Yeah.
where I was there, thank God. My bestie and Captain Von Trapp got sent into the dressing rooms to kiss for the first time, and then they had to come out and do it in front of us all in public. That same girl,
Mhm.
I stage kissed her the next year. Oh, no,
Mm.
maybe later that spring.
Oh my
maybe
god.
maybe a span of months. Yeah, it would have had to have been. Really crazy when you think about
The
it.
idea of you kissing a woman.
Oh, multiple.
That's
on and
crazy.
off the stage. It's a montage because it's accumulation of scenes.
Yeah, it's lots of fucking.
They're in Archie's garage, and they're really cute.
Oh my god, guys, it's adorable.
If you couldn't tell by
hit
our
the
general
mic.
verve, like, we're really into
We're Varchie, we love her.
we're pro Varchie in this moment in time.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
Oh,
this
for
was
sure.
back when Varchie was young and free, and like,
yes, and this is kind of where they get their reputation.
they're in front of a fire.
They're in front of a fire and they're
a
doing it.
roaring fire at the Pembroke.
And of course, Ronnie's on top. She's straddling him. Like, that's just how their
Yeah,
relationship
it's
is.
like when you go back to your roots. Unfortunately, this isn't Archie's first time in front of a roaring fire.
But I would say it would be better
I would say it's so much better.
because
And
Jennifer Gibson, she's dead.
not there.
She's dead and gone.
Because Jennifer Gibson, she's dead and gone.
And she is.
It's giving, I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw Denise Richards again. And maybe it all goes back to this.
And maybe it all goes back to this,
Yeah.
but instead
What was
of
your root, Megan? Megan!
Megan, what was your root?
Riverdale fan cast of But I'm a Cheerleader.
Oh my god, well, Cheryl is Megan.
Cheryl is Megan.
Is Graham. Well, I don't know if we can reveal that right now.
Oh, should I wait to talk about this?
We'll
till
wait.
later?
We'll wait.
But I need to rip
Okay,
off that
we can just
Band-Aid.
talk about it now.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Fuck the noise.
fuck the nose.
We've ripped.
Fuck the nose.
Fuck my nose.
Fuck my nose.
You don't know what the macaroni Imagine One Direction thing is?
So-
you know what I'm talking about?
No. So Betty is
I'm derailing this episode of the podcast.
Butterfly pasta.
Everyone can deal with it.
Imagine you and Niall are snuggling on Christmas Eve eating mac and cheese. Suddenly, Louis tells a joke. You laugh so hard it comes out of your nose. Don't worry your name. I got this. Niall murmurs in that sexy voice he knows you love so much as his tongue slithers into your nose to get the food. Oh my. Oh my. That's crazy. What the fuck? Ew.
Jennifer Gibson is dead and gone.
Oh my god. Thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you for your candor.
Yeah, thank you for your candor. Archie and Ronnie.
So Archie and Ronnie are fucking in front of the fire.
And Archie says, I love you.
And Ronnie's immediate reaction is to go, go home.
Side
Bye.
eye. And she's like, yeah, my parents are probably gonna, they're having a 13-course tasting menu
At Pourquoi?
at Pourquoi. And when Ronnie said that, I thought that she was saying that she and Archie were gonna have a 13-course tasting menu
Of each other's bodies.
and I was like,
Me storing that for my next hookup.
yeah, a 13-course
Course.
tasting menu.
Hey, do you want to have a
13-course tasting menu at Pourquoi? The peak of Varchie,
Mhm.
and then a tumultuous patch because it's like, is Ronnie gonna say I love you back to Archie? We're at Pops.
We're at Pops. Basically, Jughead and Betty are trying to figure out what was the deal with the Riverdale Reaper.
And he went to City Hall, dug through their microfilm, the microfiche.
More like Doughead.
Sometimes it's like the muses.
Yeah, I really though. We are the
muses.
muses.
Honey, you mean Hercules. So Betty is like, oh my gosh, you found an old-timey newspaper, which I feel like they wouldn't like. I guess they would let you check it out.
Yeah.
Can you like check out newspapers? That feels too fragile.
I feel like, well, if they've got their like journalism clearance.
You're right.
You
You're
know?
right. Everyone should watch The Watermelon Woman.
Totally.
Have you ever seen
Totally.
it?
No, but I know of it
It's
I took
really good.
because I was in queer media.
Yeah, well, you are infamously. We're in queer media.
Yeah.
Like
This is queer media.
this is queer media. So, but yeah, in that she goes on like a quest, and she
Mhm.
goes through a lot of like archives,
Yeah.
microfiche, core.
Yeah.
So it's evocative of Bughead, really.
Oh, perfect.
Bughead,
I mean, not really. but
Bughead is trying to steal her nachos, but they're just
her nachos are
too
just
out of
too
reach.
perfect, yeah.
But didn't think we were gonna be talking about that today.
Hey.
Betty is like, okay, cool. We have a lead. I've been in this house, Jughead, the murder house of the Riverdale Reaper,
Mhm.
where he murdered a family of 4.
Wait a second. I'm getting a call.
Oh
Bring,
wait,
bring.
you're right.
Bring, bring. FP, you're getting out of jail.
Yeah.
Yay. So they're getting out of jail.
A get out of jail free card.
Exactly. And it was from Penny Peabody.
Peabody.
Penny Peabody.
Peabodied her. Peabodied her.
Peabodied her.
Peabodied her.
So Bughead is like, we are gonna deal with
We
FP
are
stuff.
the muses.
We are the muses. And they're like, hey, Varchie, we saw you guys across the room and we liked
really
your
liked your vibe. Jughead and Betty have tasked Archie and Ronnie with following the lead of the Riverdale Reaper murder house
The Devil's House.
because they are going to go deal with FP getting out of jail, Serpent drama tea, and
Throwing a
Betty is like, I
party.
need to take a minute not
Mhm.
in this house because I can't go back there. Ronnie is like, you want us to be you guys? And everybody shares a little look and they're like quadding out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's giving cute because as we established, Varchie is known for their sexcapades and their irreverence and their lust for life. Meanwhile, Bughead is known for their like grit and their sleuthing and their kind of like
dedication to each other.
Dedication to each other.
So
we're really tiny, guys.
because
Cheryl has a HBIC like lettering on her girls' locker.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
On her locker in the girls' locker room.
And she sees Josie also in her little towel.
Mm-hmm.
And Cheryl's like, oh my gosh, Josiekins, your back looks like a sailor's. It's covered in knots. You must be so stressed.
Let me get my lavender essential oil. and let me rub out your tense muscles.
And Josie's like, okay.
And then they're rudely interrupted by Mr. Svensson, the creepy janitor, who's
The
like,
creepy
"Oh,
janitor.
sorry, girls. I
didn't
had
know
no
he was
idea
in here.
nobody was here."
And Cheryl is like, you pervert. It's giving Ethel Cain.
It is.
Get out of here. You're creeping on Josie in her naked body. I would never do that.
I would never do that. I was not just creeping on Josie in her naked body.
The Lodge family has been threatened.
They've gotten one of those infamous Black Hood letters where he's
Yeah.
like, "You guys are sinners. I'm gonna fucking kill you."
And so Hiram and Hermione are like, Ranika, don't worry. You have that big lug of a thing. Archie, he's obsessed with you. Like, Andre will, like, drive you around town from now on. Like, you'll be safe. And also Archie is madly in love with you, right? And she's like, I guess that's a good thing, but
also like,
But yeah, that's why we're highlighting Archie's physique. That's the only reason.
That is the only reason. We would never
just
do
to
that.
show off how like good of a protector he is.
Oh, totally, of course.
After the bombshell of her parents being like, the Black Hood has threatened us, she's like, Archie, can you come over? I'm kind of freaking out. Because, of course, the way that she processes Black Hood threats
is by fucking. And Archie is like, okay, but I did say I love you, and you, like, low-key aren't talking about it. And she's like, can't we just, like each other?
So we cut to the White Worm.
The White Worm.
And Juggy's like, everybody, FP's getting out of jail. And they're like, woo. Juggy's like, this is perfect. Now that FP's getting out of jail, our meeting with Mayor McCoy will go so well. Like, we're going to meet with her. We're going to talk about, like, infrastructure, like, how we can make the Serpents, like, a community service, like, chapter, like, organization. And Tallboy is like, you know what, Dougie, I don't got no problem with your dad, but you, I don't know about. You've been around here for all of 5 minutes. And Jughead goes,
Tallboy, could you stop being a little bitch?
Tony starts a little vote to be like, okay, I'm going to squash this. Everybody raise your hands if you like Jughead's reformation approach. Basically unanimous hands. We're
FP's
at the
jail.
jail.
Betty had previously said, hey, Alice, my slay mother.
Can we borrow the station wagon?
And she's like, ugh. And Betty's like, listen, Jughead's a serpent. FP's a serpent. I love Jughead. Therefore, I love FP. We all need to get along. And Alice is like, fine, I'll drive you.
Everything's really wholesome. Like, FP and Jughead hug. Betty is like, oh my gosh, like, FP, congrats. Like, I'm so happy that you're out of jail. And he's like, yeah, I'm, like, really turning a new leaf. Like, everything is bright and, like
I'm in AA.
I'm in AA. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm in a really, like, happy, innocent place. Alice looks him up and down and she goes,
is it true what they say about men who've just been released from prison?
And he goes, well, what did they say?
That they're incredibly sexually frustrated? And Betty goes, what the
hell,
Mom?
And that's that's an accurate reaction. And Jughead is like, whoa. He just walks away. FP's into it.
He's
FP
like, oh.
really likes this little cat and mouse, the serpent and the mongoose. Like, the tit for tat continues between Alice and FP. She's like, you're a bad father, aren't you? You're going to go back to that gang, aren't you? And he's like, actually, I'm going to quit the Serpents and I'm in AA. And he gives a little pinky up. And Jughead and Betty are like, you're quitting the Serpents? Juggy needs you to be in the Serpents because he needs role model. Juggy and FP go for just a father-son ride, a motorcycle-y ride. They're just talking about that, like, legacy and like what it means to be a man and like, family and
and like brotherhood and
as part of turning over his new leaf,
he's getting a job.
And where at?
Pops!
It's Pops! Waitress, can I have a revive?
Oh, yeah.
And, his revive would wake me up.
Yeah.
Wake Ash and Just. Effie is, like, waiting on Betty and Jughead.
And then there's Cheryl and Josie.
So Cheryl is, like, watching FP. This is Cheryl's first time ever seeing FP out from jail.
After he...
We'll remind you, he did help cover up her twin brother's gruesome murder. Cheryl is feeling a lot of things. And so she dumps a milkshake on the floor. She throws it, actually.
Yeah, and it, like, shatters and everything. And
Josie is like, oh my.
And Cheryl's like, clean it up, plebe.
Yeah. And then, and Betty and Jughead get up to be like,
I oughta.
and FP's like, hey, guys. I'm gonna clean it
cover
up.
up
Like
her
I'm gonna.
murder.
It's
her
fine.
twin's mother.
He's like, I'll get you a new milkshake soon, Cheryl.
I just like had a stutter that could have. I mean, like the things I just said over here didn't make any sense. Mother was thrown in there, like. But the other thing that comes from this is that Jughead is like, my father should be respected, not humiliated. Ah!
Yeah.
And then Betty is like, let's throw him a retirement party at the Twitch.
That's exactly what we'll do. We'll respect and honor him.
Varchie goes on their little expedition
to the Devil House. They'd been calling around to Sheriff Keller like, oh my gosh, do you have the file of the case? And he's like, technically, it was like the sheriff before me
Sheriff
was in charge
Howard.
of it. He probably took the cold case files home. Sheriff Howard died. She can't come to the phone right now.
Why? Oh, because she
died.
Jennifer Gibson? Dead
and gone. To follow the cold case files, Archie and Ronnie called up Sheriff Howard's daughter. Sheriff Howard was like,
crazy obsessed with
like,
the case.
Knew that something was missing.
Yeah.
So they go back to the Devil House and they're reading the little like printout newspaper of like the report originally of like what happened.
And we're getting like flashback black and white, like he went and he shot the mother and then he shot the father and then he killed the children, and there's like
it's really graphic.
It's graphic and it's also giving Amityville Horror.
It's also giving In Cold Blood. And
it's also giving why is there still blood on the floor? It wouldn't be there because it would have oxidized away.
They do find something though. They're going through the house, they find a little lockbox. Or really a file folder.
A file folder, and they're like, Sheriff Howard was onto something. Wait, Archie, come over here. There's
on the door, like a little height marker on the door. And
on the door.
Barney's like, there were only 2 kids.
Family of 4? So
wait,
what's going on here?
A 3rd child? They flip through the little file folder, and there's just a picture of like 3 kids and the parents in front of the house. And it's like,
there were 3 children. So
one survived the brutal murder. And it's giving, why was that covered up? I guess like, for like witness protection program. Who is the secret child that survived the Riverdale Reaper? Is he a vigilante, like, that has turned Black Hood, that blamed the town for his family's gruesome murder? Is this a Black Hood suspect? First, we need to go through all of the yearbooks for the past 30 years.
And seeing if they can match the face in the photo with a face in the yearbook.
And they try to recruit Bughead for this, but they're like, we have to go to the retirement party. By the way, there's a retirement party, you guys should come. So they're about to go through the yearbooks.
Where we get a little cut to Alice.
At Pops.
And she is like, FP, do not let my daughter anywhere near the serpents. Do not let my daughter do anything with the serpents.
Yeah.
You need to figure this out, and I can't have her making the same mistakes that I made, that we made.
Yeah, and he's like, they weren't all mistakes, were they?
He's like, you should just come to the retirement party as a chaperone then.
And Alice goes, well, Hal would never come. And he goes, well leave him. At home. Oh my.
And they both kind of like look at each other like
the night of the retirement party. And Varchie have stayed in the blue and gold room to dig through the yearbooks, cross-reference. Archie's kind of like, hey Ronnie, what about when I said I love you? And like, you're ignoring me now and diving into a cold case to like avoid your feelings. And she's like, Arch, I found him. I found out who this little child was.
And it was
Joseph
Svensson?
The janitor! Of course, creepy Svensson is working late again. So perfect opportunity for Archie to go rough him up at school.
Mm-hmm.
And they handle this in the worst
way. They do. Instead of being like, hey, so, we did hear about the fact that your
entire family was brutally murdered.
They're like, I know what you did. I know that you're Joseph. And
then they like tackle him and bring him into the biology room, and they're like, you must be guilty if you ran. And he's like,
I was freaked
out because I haven't been clocked like that in decades. Also, I went into basically witness protection because my entire family was brutally murdered, Archie.
And I saw it.
So, and he climbed out the window. That's how he escaped. While his entire family, again, was being brutally murdered
in front of him. But he stayed long enough to see the face of the man who left.
And so he's like, I told everyone in town, and they were like, this is the guy? This is who did it? Okay.
Interesting. And they kill him.
That man did point blank brutally murder my family in front
entire
of me.
family.
So I don't feel that bad
honestly,
about it. But
don't feel bad about it. And they're like, that sounds a lot like something the Black Hood would say.
justice served,
And he's
sinners.
like-
And Ronnie starts like attacking
Yes.
him. And Archie's like, he looks at his eyes a little closer and he's like, oh, they're not green. Oh, Ronnie hits at him.
No.
To plan for the retirement party,
Yes.
Betty goes to the White Worm on her own. And she sees Tony working behind the bar.
Because of course she is. She's 16
16?
and she's working behind the bar. Right.
Betty's like, Tony, I need some ideas. Like, I really want to, for Jughead, kind of be a part of this world. And then we hear a little chuckle.
And some
You
slay,
go,
Birdie with a Y.
Birdie with a Y turns around and she goes, little Miss Americana, you're never going to be one of us unless you do that little dancey dance. Tony's like, it in the same way that like boy serpents enter the gang through the gauntlet,
Mm-hmm.
girl serpents have to run their own type of gauntlet. And it's really sexist, and Tony tried to get it banned.
But of course, sexism runs deep, is what she says.
Yeah, so and you know, Tony kind of ate with that.
She did. And so Betty's like, okay, bet.
I'll be serpent adjacent. Nobody has any idea how messy she can be.
Exactly.
So we're at the retirement party. Varchie is there. They're kind of having another tiff of like,
He says, I mean, you don't have to say it back to me. Like, it's okay. And she's like, oh, I knew you'd understand. And he's like, Loki, I don't understand, though. Like, why can't you say it?
and she's like, okay, well, now it is an issue.
And she realizes, like, she's never heard her parents say that they love each other.
And it's giving trauma. Also in attendance at this retirement party.
Alice and Betty Cooper.
And Alice, she's serpent coded right now.
Oh, yeah. She goes straight to Hog Eye.
She
the
goes,
other bartender.
Yo, Hawkeye!
Tequila, straight up. And they both say at the same time,
Hold the worm. And she's like, sorry, Jug, I told Betty to come like in proper attire, but she didn't want to have any fun.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oof. And does she
She's
not
gonna
know?
be eating those words.
She
but
is. Varchie gets on stage to sing, well, Mad World.
right after their big fight about like, okay, maybe it is actually a problem, Betty's like, guys, come up. And Archie's like, I cued that Donnie Darko song that you love, Veronica.
And then halfway through the song, Veronica's
gets
like,
too real.
I can't do this. I have to leave.
So she runs off.
So she runs off.
and runs out of the bar, and Archie chases her outside.
And who should pick up where they left off?
This next sequence is top 5 commandments of Riverdale.
Oh, yeah.
Betty Cooper takes the mic.
Slowly unbuttoning
Starting to
her shirt.
unbutton, and it's giving, what kind of show, what is the women's serpent gauntlet?
And it's giving striptease. Well,
Sweet Pea is into it.
Sweet Pea's into it, and we did keep this in for me because this was in a lot of Sweet Pea imagines on Tumblr. This little reaction shot, you know, like, oh, Sweet Pea sees you walk in that little dress, and so that's why this is here, because it was formative for me.
Betty starts to take off her clothes.
Like, she's taking her clothes off.
And it's giving Sweet Pea, boing, Tony going, Juggy, what do you think of this? And we see Juggy's face.
And he's like, ugh! Like, he looks disgusted, and I'm like, ew.
And then
I find it
kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world.
So she's in negligee and she's stripping on a pole.
Karaoke track of Mad World playing as you strip in front of your boyfriend, his gang, and your
His father and
your mother. She looks amazing.
She looks so good. She's slaying.
And Alice is
horrified.
mortified. But she's actually less enraged than you might think.
Yeah,
and Madchen is
she's-
an amazing actress.
Oh yeah, because she's not mad at Betty per se.
She's
She's
just
more like, oh, she's
history repeats
doing
itself.
what I did. Like
this
she's-
is we know that
yeah.
this is how Alice probably got into the serpents.
And so it's just sort of giving like, oof. I
It's
did.
giving Ladybird.
Ugh.
So the song ends.
And FP Jones goes,
Woo, thank you for that, Betty. FP runs up on stage, puts his little serpent jacket around Betty. She runs off stage kind of like with her mother. Alice is like, we need to go now, Betty. And Betty's like, I'm staying, Mom. And Alice is like, well, I'm not. And
Yeah.
Alice leaves fully. And it's kind
She
of like,
fully leaves her daughter behind. It's like, oh,
whoa, that's kind of a
okay.
lot. Jughead continues to be disgusted. FP's up on stage getting really riled up.
Whoa!
Betty epitomized exactly what it means to be a serpent. You guys have been there for me always. I won't leave until they drag my cold, dead body out of this bar. And everybody's cheering because their Serpent King that they thought was going to retire, he's back.
Oh, he's back.
FP pops down to Jughead. Jughead,
Tears
frozen.
in his eyes.
Tears in his eyes. His girlfriend just joined the gang. His father rejoined the gang that he was trying to, like, keep both of these people he loves so much protected. FP bear hugging Jughead, and he's whispering, I know about that drug running with Penny Peabody.
That was the one thing I told you not to do.
And now that I'm back in the Serpents, they're my debts again. I can deal with Penny Peabody. I'm protecting you, Juggy.
He's like, you broke my heart, Jug.
He's back on the wagon, and he's back in the gang. He puts on his mask of, like, Serpent King. Poor Jughead.
It's bad.
Goodness. Jughead is shell-shocked by everything that just happened. He goes outside to see Betty redressed. And she's like, why are you crying, Jughead? He's like, I can't protect you. I can't protect my dad. We can't be together and you be safe. I'm ending things between us, Betty. Bughead, no more.
No more. Varchie.
When Ronnie ran off into the parking lot earlier and Archie chased her, they started having their own little tiff.
And she's like, I can't give it to you. I can't be what you want me to be.
And he's like, fine, I dump your ass.
And then she's crying in the car as
Andre reminder. Andre was just waiting in the parking lot of the White Worm this whole time.
Fully saw all that happen. Is
so
driving
funny.
Her off.
Hard cut too.
Mr. Svensson is looking at the damn picture of the people who killed the guy in front of his grave,
where they buried the Reaper's body. Oh my!
We close out with a bit of Juggy narration. The redhead hunk of beef looks out the window and sees the girl next door,
like
as
it's
if it's for the first time.
They're both getting naked in front of each other, undressing for bed, and Betty is like, "Oh hey Archie," and then she steps away and she comes back to the window and she's like,
"Oh, hey Archie,
Varchie," and just like that, Betty has almost caught up with Archie,
which. Thank God, guys.
Yeah, with the serpent dance.
Yeah.
It's really, really close.
Because that's so cunty and iconic.
Yeah.
Like, what are we supposed to say?
It's really, really formative, I think, if you couldn't tell.
Oh, we have big news, guys. We're moving in together. Yay!